Hey, Ron, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm gonna put it on mute just for 1 second, and then I'll let you know when we're about to go live.
Okay.
Hey, Regina, can you hear me? Hello, 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 hello.
Make it wet. Okay. Because last time, remember me and you did it, I got it in the same spot and you can't really see. Or were you able to set the camera again or? Be like, hey. My tablet doing better than the. Be like, hey. My tablet doing better than the. Be like, hey. It was the latest morning. My tablet doing better than the. Be like, hey. My tablet doing better than the. Be like, hey. I know. My tablet doing better than the. Be like, hey. You never rain. I know.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Can everybody hear me? Check 1 2. Check 1 2. They can hear me. Oh, great. All right, well, start things off. I just want to introduce myself. I'm the Junkyard Dog, Jerome Williams. I'm obviously happy to be here on behalf of Shooting for Peace. Your instructor, Miss Regina, We go way back. She was not only one of my co-workers, but also a friend in the Las Vegas area. And I'm glad she's there now assisting your group. So I guess since I can't really hear any questions or anything, I kind of going to go into a little bit of my background. I mean, obviously, I played in the NBA 9 years, started with the Detroit Pistons, and then moved on to the Toronto Raptors, then Chicago Bulls, and then finally my time with the New York Knicks before retiring. I've been retired from the NBA for 20 years. Been out in the streets since 2005. A lot of people ask me, hey, what made you stop playing? And really, it just came down to one thing. I wanted to be with my family. I wanted to be able to focus in on their needs, because while playing in the NBA, all of my needs had to come first in order to perform at the highest level of basketball in the globe. Now, a lot of things that, I came to discuss with everyone here today just boils down to anywhere in life, whether it was me playing in the NBA or my life as it exists today, starts with 3 M's. Those 3 M's are going to be the key for each and every one of you individually, your success story. So you almost have to rewrite the playbook. And in every walk of life, in my life, I had to rewrite a playbook. So while I was playing in the NBA, I had a certain playbook I had to follow. When I was in college, I had a certain playbook that I had to follow. And this playbook is something that I still utilize today, because success in life is a matter of determination, dedication, and discipline. 3 Ds. So when you have the 3 Ds applied to the 3 M's, which are, what's your mission? What are your methods? And how are we going to measure those items to ultimately get you to your goals? So let me just break this down. In retirement, obviously, when I stopped playing, I went from every day of my life being scheduled by the team, by the trainers, any outside endorsements I had to do. Everything was scheduled. So there was very little that relied on my, involvement outside of being somewhere on time and giving it my maximum effort. So my mission was always to adhere and support and basically be the piece to the company that I was working for. So that was my mission, to basically fulfill the goal that they needed me to fulfill on their terms. My method for doing so was making sure I met all the criteria, but not only met their criteria, but tried to go above and beyond whatever their criteria baseline was. And I'll give you an example. So in the NBA, we have to show up at work. Practice starts at 10 a.m. It ends at 12 noon. But in reality, we know that in order to win at the highest level of the NBA, you just can't go to just practice with your teammates. Individually, you all have to and myself included, I must add to that number to make sure that I'm able and ready to compete at the highest level. So what I used to do, I used to have to arrive 3 hours before practice. Now, people always ask me, well, what did you do for 3 hours before work started? Well, I had to figure that out. And in life, there might be some things that you might have to figure out. Now, I'm not suggesting that everybody here listening to me right now in this classroom shows up to their office 3 hours ahead of time. But I can tell you that people that arrive to work early are looked favorably by upper management. And that was my goal. I wanted to make sure that the people that were counting on me knew that they could count on me. And that's why I showed up 3 hours ahead of time. Obviously, during the 2 hours I was supposed to be on the clock, I gave it my all. But then when the clock ended, meaning they let everybody release and you're able to go home, I then stayed an additional 2 hours after practice every day, consistently, for 9 years in the NBA. But what this did was this established a certain criteria and relationship with only my employers, but also my reputation. My reputation went around the league because where there's one team that looks to sign you to a contract, there's other employers out there that are looking to better their teams. And since the majority of the teams I played on got better or made the playoffs, I was sought after as a piece that could help improve another team. So in life, I look at everybody in this room. You might have some trials and tribulations. So what do we have to do? It's all right. You got to reboot. You have to reestablish what's important to you, what's going to be your new mission, what are going to be your methods, and then how are we going to measure success? And success stories are the ones take into account, here's where we're at right now, and here's where we're looking to go. I believe everybody in this room, can write down a goal that you have for this upcoming year. What's one goal that you want to accomplish in the upcoming year? And these are small measurable things that you can put as your mission statement. Okay, in order to reach that goal and apply that as your mission, what's your first method of giving it your all and going above and beyond to make sure you can reach that goal? Write it down. Once you write those things down, you must go back to the 3 Ds: dedication, determination, and discipline. So let's break down those 3 things. So in the game of basketball, obviously, I'm playing at the highest level. So let's talk about some of the distractions, another D, that come into play. A lot of my distractions had to do with, a lot of extra time to do good things and time to do bad things. So how I stayed dedicated to what I was trying to accomplish was reminding myself what the goal was, and if it was something that was going to take me away from that mission being successful, which included staying out late, going to parties, being in places that weren't the gym. Well, everybody lives life, but in what capacity? In moderation. That's the key word for me, in moderation. So did I still go out sometimes? Yes. But was that the main focus of my life? No. I made the number one thing be the number one thing. And those requirements required me to be dedicated to that one thing. Now, the second thing was determination. And determination came in when the people that were closest to me, friends, family, they have needs, they have wants, whether it be time, resources. Now, it's being able to explain others, hey, in order for me to be dedicated to this mission, I need your support, because there's going to be some times where I might waver, and your circle that's around you are typically the ones that can either keep you on the right path or keep encouraging you, or they can do the exact opposite. And the exact opposite of that is turning you in reverse mode, going back down the wrong road, going back down the place that we're trying to go away from, right? Everything in my past, I was trying to leave in my past. Everything that I was looking forward to, meaning what I was trying to accomplish for my family, was in front of me. And I kept that the main thing. So I had to be determined about that. I had to focus my mind and determined to be able to accomplish the goal at hand, accomplish the mission. So my methodology was stay determined, and what? Finally, the last D, discipline. Discipline is one of the hardest things, because as success comes and as you see the ball start moving, it's kind of easy to waver and forget, hey, what got you here? Just like you're sitting in this classroom today, something got you there. So you got to remember that. And then the steps that you got to do to keep going and move forward is really having the discipline to do the right thing, having the discipline to stay on the right path, having the discipline to really focus on your mission and make sure nothing's going to get in the way with that. So being disciplined to stay locked in, whether it's health-wise, mental health-wise, and also, emotional and physical ability health-wise. Stay on that track. And your methods, if adhered to, will ultimately lead to measurables. And the measurables for me now, specifically in basketball, it's, you're looking at how many times you're able to come and be supportive to your team, both physically, emotionally, and in the present, and being able to play. But off the basketball court, in business, in retirement, it really came down to, was I able to get, job opportunities, things that I was trying to push for outside of the basketball arena. Very tough, very tough. Because this is an arena I didn't come from. This is an arena, I hadn't been in, I should say. Because straight out of college, I went straight into playing and doing something that required my physical engagement every day versus my mental engagement every day. I still had to be smart and use my mind, but not as much as someone who's going to an office every day or dealing with some sort of business or corporate structure. So I say this, everybody there that could potentially be going into those kinds of things. It takes the same amount of effort, same amount of leadership, and the same amount of focus that it takes to do anything. Because in every business, unless you're something that's like a sole proprietor and you're just relying on yourself, you're going to have to deal with the team. You're going to have to deal with teammates. These are co-workers. Some are good, some maybe not so good. Some you get along with, some you might not get along with. But if you're all under one umbrella, one logo, one mission, you have to apply how your steps are going to propel you to your next opportunity for growth, but also just the mere fact of having a job, having that opportunity to grow your life and to expand upon where you want to be in life. These things are all important. And now is a good time, now that we've kind of broken down our 3 M's. If you haven't written them down yet, I encourage you to do so. Our mission, our methods, and our measurables. The 3 M's. Fueled by our 3 D's. Dedication, determination, and discipline. So those things combined lead us to the next phase. And the next phase I want to point out is that I was known in the NBA as being a role player. Everybody in the NBA plays a role. But a lot of times, a lot of us aren't satisfied with the role that we play. We're already kind of thinking of the next spot, or how I'm going to climb the corporate ladder, or how I'm going to move to being a supervisor. And from being a supervisor, I'm trying to be the manager. And from being a manager, I'm trying to be the general manager. From the general manager, I'm trying to be the vice president. From the vice president, I'm trying. So everybody is in a position to look to the next thing before we actually focus in on what's at hand and absorbing it and enjoying that part, right? And when I say enjoyment, it is exactly what I'm saying right now. Enjoyment. You have to enjoy your job. You have to, because a lot of people don't have a job. So I am going to stop there because I want to take some questions. I can't see anybody in the audience because a lot of people don't have a job. But I know you're there because I saw you earlier. I am going to stop there because I want to take some. We're going to open it up for questions, and I believe the best route is for Brian to text me what the question is. I know you're there because I saw you earlier. I am going to stop there because I want to take. We're going to open it up for questions, and I believe the best route is for Brian.
Okay, double voices. Okay, y'all have any questions? Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, he can hear me. Okay, double voices. Okay, y'all have any questions? Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a little delayed. Okay, y'all have any
Do we have a
questions?
question yet, Brian?
Did you hear me? Say it again.
Yes. Seeing if they were going to ask Regina, if you have any questions, go ahead and pose them.
He said, who was the hardest to guard? Now, what was the
So Jerome, that question was, who is the hardest to guard?
Well, who is the hardest to guard in the NBA? Well, I can tell you that's a loaded question because there were so many people that I did guard. Let me go through a few people that I guarded. Hall of Famers, of course. One hasn't even gotten to that point, but we can pretty much assume I guarded LeBron James, guarded Michael Jordan, guarded Shaq, guarded Tim Duncan, guarded Charles Barkley. Of all those people, the hardest to guard was probably Charles Barkley. And that's only because the other people, I didn't have to guard them for very long because they weren't in my position as a power forward. You know, Shaq is so dominant. There's no way I could guard Shaq for 48 minutes. And then as Michael Jordan is who he is, the greatest basketball player ever, he was impossible to guard for everybody. So there again, it makes it tough. So Charles Barkley, I actually had to guard him, and it was nearly impossible. But he did have mercy on me and just told him to take the ball the other way. So that was good. Next question. And since we're in Phoenix, you know, Charles played for the Phoenix Suns. I don't know if anyone's asking questions right now, but I haven't heard any questions. It's a good time for me to explain what role player means to me, the acronym ROLE. As we were talking about our mission, our methods, and our measurables, one thing that I always had at the top of my list, letter R, was being relentless. Being relentless at my goal and what I was trying to accomplish. It was something I woke up every day and thought about how I was going to do all that I could. And that flows right into the letter O. Next letter in role was opportunities. I had to look for opportunities that I could see in front of me, that might be behind me, that might be on the side of me, to the left or the right. Opportunities are always around. Sometimes they don't have dollars attached. So I was relentless about looking at opportunities, and not necessarily we're always going to make me money, but we're also going to maybe help someone else. And through that brings us to the next letter, L, which was leveraging. And leveraging, with following up with that, the letter E is everything. So relentless, opportunist, leveraging everything was my mentality as a role player that really propelled me to do all the things that I'm able to do now, which is work with something that I enjoy to do, which is obviously talking on these Zooms to encourage you to get to your ultimate destination. So I just want to encourage everybody here to not only think about where you want to be, but, think about other things that can help you propel you there. I'll give you one last thing before I leave. And that thing was when I was at the point of high school, right before my big break, it was something missing because I had tried everything on my own. And when I say on my own, I mean, I was trying to play basketball the best I could. I, went to school and did, the best I could do in school. And I was graduating. And the thing was, I needed something and I knew what I needed. And I had exhausted everything I could exhaust. So the last thing that I could do was pray. And so that's what I did. I asked my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for help. I said, can you help? I need 7 inches in order to play and to reach my goals. I said, if you're able to give me these 7 inches, I promise that I'll try to help people till I die. And here I am on this call. So obviously I got the 7 inches, and I grew 7 inches that summer, and it's in my book, Role Player. Grew 7 inches, and from there, I was able to continue my basketball career, but it was a different career because I was no longer 6'2", and I could do things that were a lot easier to do at 6'9", which garnered a lot of attention from a lot of top coaches who wanted my services. So I don't know if anybody here is at a point in their life where they might feel from a lot of top coaches a little discouraged, or they feel like they need some sort of support. And sometimes that doesn't come in the form of a man or a woman. And for me, it came in the support of, utilizing Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit to help me at that point. So that's the message I want to just make sure that I send today, because that's what worked for me. That might not work for everybody, but I'm telling you, it worked for me. And I know that through my faith and through my studying of the Bible and the message that Jesus Christ sent. He does love everybody individually in this room. And if you believe that and you confide in him, I believe he will help each and every one of you as well. And with that being said, I can see you guys now. So I have to give you a fist bump and a hand clap because I can see you. And if I can see you, you can see me.
I'm dead.
Well, with that, this is Brian. I'm gonna hop on here just for a second. I'll give you guys one last chance. If you have a question, to ask it, and then we'll just to respect Jerome's time. I know he's got to hop off, so I know he's rolling. So, Regina, one last question that we'll take before we end the session. I know he's got to hop off, so I know he's rolling. So, Regina, one last question that we'll take before we end the session. I know he's got to hop off, so I know he's rolling. So,
I know
Regina, one last
one of the
that we'll
questions
take
that were
before
asked
before
earlier,
we end
it muted
the
us,
session.
but she asked, can you still dunk today like you did back in the past? I know.
Drum, I don't know if you heard that question. The question.
There we go. Sorry, I didn't hear that question. All right, if you guys can still hear me, thank you, Miss Regina, for having me here today. I wasn't able to hear any of the last questions, so I just assumed there wasn't any last question. But this won't be the last time we probably see each other. So next time, if I did miss any questions, when I do it a second time, maybe I'll come on and answer those questions. So we can do that. Ms. Regina will write down those questions, and we can do it that way. So appreciate everybody here today. God bless you all. I'll be praying for your success, and keep hope alive. Dog Pound. Let's go.